So this is a case that you've been following how long? Owen Klinger, and tell me about the case, how long you've been looking into it and what's changed.
So there's a few things that we do know. On October 6th, around 8 o'clock in the evening, Owen walked away from the University of Portland campus. We have not had contact since then. We haven't had any really leads since then. There's a few things that we have learned that our missing persons detectives have put together. One, he withdrew money from a ATM on campus and then walked away. We have video evidence of him walking away from campus. We have reviewed his YouTube videos. We know that he was researching train hopping. He was walking towards areas where you would get on a train to travel. We also know that he was into the movie Into the Wild, which shows someone going up to the Alaskan wilderness to live. We know that he turned off his cell phone. The cell phone has not been turned back on. We have not found any evidence of foul play, and we have no leads.
Wow, that's a lot to unpack.
Right.
So the parents told us sort of what you did a few minutes ago, other than the train hopping thing. So now that you have all this new information, does this make it, in your minds, more likely that he is voluntarily walked away from his situation, or does it make it more likely that foul play has occurred?
So we have found no evidence of foul play. It's more likely than not that he left on his own wishes. We believe that he turned off his cell phone. We would like for him to contact someone just to let us know he's okay. He is an adult. We're keeping that in mind as well. But we do have assigned a missing person detective to this case.
I'm going to stop you. Go ahead and come on through.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
You're
No,
totally
no
fine.
worries.
I didn't know you were
Not your
here.
fault.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
Okay, so his parents said that he had access to considerably more money than what he withdrew. He withdrew like $160 or something like
Okay.
that. But that he did have access to a savings account with a lot more money than that. Doesn't it seem like he'd take more money out than that?
So I wasn't aware of the amount or that information. I'm not sure one way or the other.
You're not the detective.
I'm
on
not
this.
the detective,
You are the
right.
PIO for this.
Correct.
Okay, so all of his family, his friends, everybody is very convinced this is so uncharacteristic of him that he would never do this. He wouldn't be so inconsiderate. He's like almost a cautious personality. Does that figure into any of your, sort of your investigation?
It does, absolutely. And we have interviewed family and friends. We've talked to friends where Owen told them that he was going to go to lacrosse practice. That was not the case. We have interviewed everyone under the sun, school officials, family, friends, and we still have not been able to piece together what exactly happened. Again, we do know that he left on his own. We do know that he turned off his cell phone, that he has researched movies and videos talking about being on his own, maybe going up north, and everything that we have found does not point to foul play.
Yeah. It's interesting that his parents, though, say I'm just doing
Yep,
devil's advocate
totally.
here. He was wearing just a cotton sweatshirt and cotton pants, and anybody who grows up in the Northwest knows that is no clothing to keep you warm for, it gets wet and then you're cold. And yet he had those sort of things at his house. So that seems unlikely he'd go like a train hopping with just that.
Well,
right?
and I don't want to speculate. I don't know that if he had planned this, if he had things stashed. Again, I do not know. It is concerning. Again, we have found no evidence of foul play. We recognize that he is an adult. So that's kind of where we are.
But are you guys worried about him?
Absolutely. This is going on 2 weeks. Me personally, I've done many of interviews. The missing person detective, it's very taxing. We know that the community has been out there with search parties, organized search parties, which we really, really appreciate. It's very concerning. We want to find Owen, and we want to hear that he's okay.
Yeah. What else can you do? I mean, you've put out, news reports, and you've put out.
Right.
He's a missing person, right?
That is correct.
Yeah.
That is correct. We use our social media platforms to get the word out. Social media is huge nowadays. People see his picture. We're hoping that this reaches a broader audience to where if he had gone up north, people will see it and call 911.
Mm-hmm. So nothing on the cell phone. Isn't that weird for an 18-year-old to put his phone away?
It is. And again, we confirmed that it wasn't that the battery died, that it was actually turned off.
Okay. That seems like one of the biggest pieces of the puzzle now.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. What are the main factors that you're looking at in this case and how you're solving it and approaching it?
Right now, getting the word out, talking to family and friends, checking businesses to see if there's any other footage, talking with railroad companies, trying to find some sort, the last spot, if you will, and then go from there.
Okay. What are the clues that, or the, evidence that jumps out at you as the strongest evidence in this case?
As far as?
Well, as far as, determining whether he's walked away or.
Well, we're convinced, and we feel pretty strongly, that he knowingly left on his own will, that there was no foul play involved with that. We don't know now if something additionally has happened, unfortunately, to him. With the withdrawing of money, the walking away, the surveillance footage, the turning off of the cell phone, the misrepresentation of what he was doing that night to friends, we are convinced that he left on his own will. From there, we don't know, and that's what we're trying to figure out.
Mm-hmm. But there wasn't he wasn't thrown into the back of a car near the place where he withdrew money, or the last place he was seen on video.
There is no evidence of that.
Okay, so Stephen
what about train hopping?
Yes.
I mean, everybody may not know what that is.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
Yeah, what is train hopping?
So some of our youngsters in the country, well, I guess not youngsters and older folks, travel throughout the country on trains. It is illegal. It is a crime. However, it's done quite frequently. Folks travel east to west, north to south on trains, and there's YouTube videos that kind of describe how to do it. I'm not advocating for that, obviously, but that was one thing that he was researching on YouTube.
It is a possibility, right? And then there's this subsect of homeless kids in Portland that
Correct.
are kind of recreational homeless. They come in for the weekend, they hang out at Pioneer Square, party, panhandle, and then they go home to their parents for a warm meal.
Street youth, that is correct.
Okay.
That does not fit this profile. It could be. We're looking into all of that. But as of right now, nothing, and we have not heard from them.
Okay. All right. Stephen and Miguel, do you have any questions you want to add for Sergeant Yakots?
Yeah, if I could just get a clarification on one point, and I may have misheard. There was a little bit of interference at the beginning of the interview when you were talking about the train hopping. That's something that you have evidence that he did, or he was researching
That he was
online.
Yep, that he was researching on YouTube. That he was researching.
Okay, so say that again.
Sorry, let me just. This is more. We don't need this for tape. It's more just for editorial
Oh,
purposes.
okay.
So you don't have any evidence that he was getting on trains. He was just looking up how to do it, or that people do it, or something like that.
That is correct.
Okay, great. So the last piece of visible evidence that you have is that he may have been seen from this TriMet bus dash cam video. Is that correct?
That is correct.